What is going on, guys? Sorry about the delay and everything. There have been some technical issues, so I just had to share this link out with the other people. Whew. All right, hopefully I can get the others in here. But sorry for the delay and the technical issues. I had trouble setting up this whole live thing. This live thing because I had it set up with me and multiple other people. So there was supposed to be an icon that says, start the live broadcast now, but it didn't. So there was a few issues. And I got my first oh my gosh, what was I I knew just what to say and I ran out. I got one of my fellow friends here. I got Kat here. How you doing, Kat?
I'm good. I gotta send this okay. I gotta send this link quick, so hang on.
Yeah. And let me send you the link to the chat room so you can spread it out to the hashtaggers. Copy.
All right.
So the link I just sent, this one is to the chat room link. So
okay. Ooh, I posted that one already, so we're good. Let me just close that quick.
All right. So now that we're just gonna wait a couple of minutes, guys. We're just waiting for our friend Joe to enter here. He's the, I will call him CEO of that hashtag show. He's like the Tony Stark of the group, and I'm glad to call him a friend and a fellow member of the geek community. And pretty much what we're gonna talk about, we're just just a little geek hangout. We can all talk about our favorite things that we love. DC, Marvel, Power Rangers, anime, video games, anything in the geek world, we're gonna talk about it.
All that fun jazz.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole lot. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And just, I know we only got like a few people in the chat room. Blue Beetle, the Space Ranger. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry for the whole delay.
She's just so out.
And he's here. Guys, I'd like you to meet. I'd like you guys to meet a fellow friend of mine. I'm happy to call this guy a friend, Joseph Deckelmeyer, who is the head Tony Stark and CEO of that hashtag show. How you doing, my friend?
Great. How are you, Blackwing? You guys, I'm gonna call you Blackwing on this show. When you're on my show, you're Jonathan.
Yeah. I understand that. When you're on my show, you can call me, by Blackwing. But I get it. When I'm in the chat room of that hashtag show, I know you can call me whatever you want. So you have enough freedom here. We're gonna have a blast here, you guys. It's gonna be awesome. So I guess since this whole thing idea was actually Kat's idea, she figured that we can have a little hangout with the fellow hashtaggers and everything. All of us, just sit down, have a little chit chat of everything nerdy. We could talk about anything that's upcoming in the geek world. But first, Joe, why don't you introduce yourself and explain to everyone in the chat room what that hashtag show is and what do you guys really do?
I am Joe. I am one of the personalities here on the show. There's 13 of us currently. Do you think I can name them all? I can name them all. Watch this. Me, Daniel, Maverick, Jessica, Kelly, Sarah, Rob, Migdalia. Did I say Kelly already?
Yeah, you already said Kelly already.
Hold on, I know there's 3 more. Ernie, Sam.
Did you say Daniel?
Yeah, I did say Daniel.
Okay.
Sam, and Daryl.
He forgot Daryl.
Daryl.
Yeah, I was gonna say you almost forgot him, and then you got him.
It gets to be quite much when you have so many people. You see all these people all the time anyway. We see each other all the time. But what we do is we keep people up to date, everything trending in geek pop culture. Not just, well, mainly geek pop culture, but we specifically certain fandoms that we attach ourselves to. Like we got Rob and, Myra. I forgot Myra too. We got Rob, Myra.
Oh, wow, Myra. My gosh.
Rob, Myra, Sarah, and Rob, Myra, Sarah, and
Brianna. We forgot about Brianna.
Disney stuff. Who'd you say?
We forgot about Brianna, who also helps.
Brianna's moving though. Brianna's going to Pop Culture Renegades. I think she's not on our show.
Oh, okay, okay.
The other show. And I think there's a possibility Sam might be going there too.
Yeah.
But I know that we've been talking about that back and forth, just building up different entities. So I know the Power Rangers is like a big deal for us here. The way we got into Power Rangers was actually by accident. I don't know if anybody really knows that, but we didn't.
I know the story. I know the story well.
I don't know the story. So explain.
Wait, Kat, how do you know the story? Kat, how do you know the story?
I may have watched something from Rangers Live Chat like months ago, and you may have heard the explanation of the story, so that's how I kind of knew.
Oh, so all right, the story goes like this. We were already doing hashtag show. We were already a thing before Power Rangers, a decent time before Power Rangers actually. But Power Rangers is what kind of like got us on the map. But we did Morphicon 4 years ago, and we weren't going to. So we had a meeting, a producers meeting. It was myself and a few of the other producers. And you guys know JD, one of the producers here. He was the one that said, I think we should go. And I said, maybe, I mean, should we though? Like, I'm a fan, but like, is it something that we're really gonna do? Because past cast members that we've had here didn't want to do Power Rangers, actually. I'm not gonna say who they were, but they definitely did not want to do Power Rangers stuff. And then JD was like, well, Joe, you're a fan, maybe we should check it out. And I was only going to produce it. Actually, was not going to be the person interviewing people. It was going to be Jessica. And the only reason she didn't do it is because I went and I watched every single episode for 3 months. So I watched 800 some odd episodes in the course of 3 months, every single day.
Wow.
And I mean, I knew the show mainly because I watched it all the way from Mighty Morphin to like, I think my last season I watched was like Time Force. So I knew the show. So it was just revisiting it, and then I remember us getting there, and I remember telling JD, I was like, yo, I can't, there's no way I can prep Jessica for 800 episodes worth of knowledge in a week. And he was like, well, why don't you just do the interviews? And I was like, okay. So then I did them. I actually got to Morphicon and didn't want to do the interviews because I got too like nervous for some reason. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do them. And then JD was like, well, we're here. So he pretty much made me do them. And then after that, it was and then we had all this Power Ranger footage. And like the game, I think was like the initial quiz was JD's idea. And then we just started going on and doing it, and it kind of worked out. So, and now here I am, and all these Power Ranger friends that I have, like you guys, but actually friends with the Power Rangers, pretty crazy to me. So
yep,
it's been a wild ride.
It's awesome to hear, and I know pretty much majority of the people in I know in my that are subscribed to me, they know I'm a Power Rangers fan. I just don't talk about it that much, and I wanted to discuss that a little bit because I like to say the Power Rangers fan base community, it doesn't get enough love as I would say. There are fans out there just like us, but we just don't talk about it as much. I just want to say thank you to you guys and the members of that hashtag show for like helping like the Power Rangers community be able to step it up a notch and be able to express their love for the franchise and everything. Because think about it, when people say like, oh, we're fans of Power Rangers, we immediately get like knocked off because like, oh my gosh, you guys watch Power Rangers? What? Like, that show's for kids. It's campy. Like, yeah, it's campy, it's for kids, but you gotta think about it more than just just being a kids show. It's a long-running franchise that's been running around for almost 25 years, and let's just say it probably touched the lives of other young people that made them believe in themselves and made them, want to, get better at life, gave them some motivational skills, some moments, to help them out get better later on in their life. So
I just today saw a really interesting thing from Power Rangers. Now, it's actually in THS hashtaggers. I don't know who posted it. It might have been Carlos, but
Kat said she did it.
If it's what I'm thinking it is, then yeah, I was the one that shared that.
If you think about like the trends of what are going on in Power Rangers, it was like the first LGBT Ranger, there was the first autistic Ranger.
Oh no, Shadowbird was the one that saw that because I found it, but I forgot to share it.
So it was.
She shared it, and I saw it this morning. I was like, yes.
It was all these different things, and it was like anybody can be a superhero, and I think that's such an important message. So the one thing I will say that to encourage anybody that's out there that's watching, realistically, like we come and celebrate these fandoms because we like being immersed with people that enjoy the same fandoms as we do. So I think it's kind of stupid to kind of belittle somebody because you're a fan of something, of anything, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, I might not be into everything. Like I'm not a big Overwatch guy, but at the same time, like I respect the people that do like it, mainly because it's a communal thing. Like I think when you go to these conventions, you go to be with like-minded people. Something that we all have here at this show, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, behind the camera, is that we all are geeks in some form or another. Now, we all might not be into the same things, but at the it brings us together as a common interest. I think that, you know what, be proud of the things that you represent. And realistically, when it comes to like Power Rangers now, man, there shouldn't be any shame in telling somebody you're a Power Ranger fan. You know why? Because everybody that's making decisions in terms of entertainment now are people that are like my age that watch Power Rangers growing up. So to me, it's almost like a badge of honor, like
right.
of it being kind of like, hey, I watched it back then. Now it's getting popular and it's cool again to be a Power Ranger fan. But you know what? That went. There was a long time in Black, like you were just saying, is a long time that people were ridiculed for being fans. JD in particular, he actually hid his fandom when he was growing up because he thought he was going to get made fun of. Now, me and Daniel grew up together, and we were fans our whole lives, and we never had to hide our fandom, mainly because, you know, we're just different people. We don't really care. So, you know, it's kind of cool now to see people embrace cool things like that again.
Yeah, I had to bounce off of both of you guys because, like, I was like really young when I started getting into geek pop culture. I was like 6 when I started like watching anime, like DBZ and like Naruto were my first loves. But like with Power Rangers, like I didn't tell any of my friends because I was the only girl out of all my friends that would watch it. I was like, I don't want to get judged for like watching this. And it's like I didn't even tell my parents I watched it. Like I hid it from my whole family because I was like so embarrassed of watching it. But at the same time, that was like my Saturday afternoon like tradition for 2 years to watch it. And I was like, I don't care what anybody says at this point because like I was probably 14 at this point where I was like, I don't care anymore because of whatever. But like it took me 4 years to like really get back into my like realization of, oh, I can still be a geek and nerd. I just need people to like. That's how I got like. That's how hashtag came into my life. Like, I started watching Power Ranger videos just in February on YouTube because, like, I needed an escape. POC Day came up, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. And it was completely different to anything I saw, and I was like, okay, so this is actually something I can enjoy and watch. It took me 3 weeks to actually finally pull the trigger and say, okay, I'm subscribing. I don't care. I have to do this because this is one of those channels that I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
And then when May 27th, and then May 27th came, and then that was my first chat room with you guys, and I was like, okay, so this is actually, whoa.
Your first chat room was?
Yeah, like that was like one of my that's like one of those things that I'm like, I'm never gonna forget that because it's like that was the start of like me making new friends. That was the start of me actually getting to know you guys a lot more, and then it was also the start of me being like, okay, so this is actually what I am. I'm a nerd. I have people that I can talk to about this kind of stuff with, and then not only that, I'm in a community of people who embrace me for what I am, and I think it's just incredible. But that's just me. But I mean, my advice for like anybody that like can't like that's like, oh, I don't know if I can tell anybody I'm a nerd. Like you can do it. You just need like that community that's backing you to do it. Like you guys, like without you guys, I don't think I would have been able to tell my friends, okay, so this is the stuff that I like. I'm sorry, but take it for how it is. So
that's awesome.
That's just my story.
So wait, I have a question for the both of you. How did
Sure.
you guys find hashtag show?
Okay, this
Actually,
is. Oh, you want to go
I'll
first?
go first. Yeah, I actually stupidly enough, because I started rewatching like Power Ranger videos all throughout like February and whatnot. So I was like, I don't know if I'll find any really good interview videos. And then one of Joe's interviews came up as like a recommended for you video, and I was like, to watch it or not to watch it. Yeah, whatever. Watched it, and I was like, oh my god. That's why it took me 3 weeks to finally decide to subscribe, because I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know. Yeah, whatever. And yeah, rest is history.
Yeah, for me, how I found out about hashtag show, it's weird. So I was in high school. I think it was my senior year of high school. I was just, pulling, all-nighters, doing homework and everything. And also I was just scrolling through YouTube, and then I saw one of your interviews from PMC. I think this was the one that you said back in 2014. I think it was with the Time Force cast. It was with Jason, Aaron, and Michael, and Dan. So I figured, like, and then I was just going through their videos of like all majority of the Power Rangers interviews from PMC that year. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is like just pretty much awesome. And then I didn't subscribe to you guys like on the spot, but there were moments where I checked periodically on any new Power Ranger related interviews would show up, and was I watched them like sporadically. And then when you guys started doing your after show with DJ, when you guys started talking about Dino Charge, that's when I officially started to subscribe to you guys. So that's when I figured like these guys are awesome, like, so let me just join. Like, these guys are just totally cool and chill, because back in high school, like, I was still watching Power Rangers. I just never told people about it, because as soon as like people heard those two words like Power Rangers, like, really, you watch that? I'm like, what kind of person are you? I'm like, okay. So pretty much once I got into college, I was happy enough to say, like, I'm a big Power Rangers fan. Like, I'm not afraid to talk about it now. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I wasn't that afraid to talk about it, but I was like, I have so many friends that are girls, and I feel like I'm going to get judged no matter what. Let me not say anything. I was like that for like 3 months. I couldn't say anything to them.
That's crazy. So it's weird, because being here on this show, it's so strange. Mainly because, like, now I know everybody so well, obviously, but everybody is from such a different walk of life that we have. Like, I don't know, like Jessica and Maverick are like these actresses, and then you got JD, who's like this crazy looking wizard looking guy. So like all of us just kind of like hang out together, and it's just like completely normal, like Kelly's like this punk rock little girl, so like it's just so weird that everybody has that common interest, and I love being here, because honestly it's so much fun to like come into work and like just hang out, like, and some of these crazy stories, man, that you guys don't even know about. I know we talk about Jezer a lot. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, you guys got a bucket
like,
list of Jezer
favorite.
stories. Even when I'm seeing like the video footage of him, I'm like, yeah, Jezer is definitely the crazy man of the group for sure. But,
oh yeah, I will second that statement. He is the crazy one out of you guys.
Let me ask you guys a question now, because this is like this is good for me and for us to know. Is if we added Jezer to the show, do you think people would like it, or what do you think?
of course. I mean, yes, Jezer is like the producer behind the scenes for you guys, who handles everything. Because I know a lot of people like hear about him. Like, some people say, I know, and plus he of course pops up in the chat room during your live your after shows. So I figured, yeah, having Jezer on board would be fun. He could he could probably have his own session, like his own show where he goes off on a rant or something. Him and Daniel, because I know him and Daniel has moments where he likes to rant a lot. So I figured maybe having like a ranting show would be perfect for both of them, because I know both of those guys have stories or something they would love to rant about. So that would be perfect.
All right, so that's a.
I think honestly, I probably would enjoy seeing that a lot. I mean, Jezer is Jezer is one of those people who, him and Joe specifically, like even in the Facebook group, like even when I get stuck in like drama, them two are there to actually defend myself, because I can't defend myself against anyone. Them two are always there for me, and I like Jezer a lot because he's the coolest guy I know. or one of the coolest guys I know.
Yeah,
He'd be cool in an after show. I'm just saying.
Jezzer's a good guy. Did you guys know the story about when me, Jezzer, Kelly, and Daryl and JD got hit in Kelly's car?
I think I've heard that story. Is that the one where you're...
I've heard this one before. I know this one.
He comes out and he's like, "There's laws in this country."
Yeah, you guys talked about this one. I forgot what stream you guys talked about it like months ago.
That's the one where I think was it Daryl that was peeking out of Kelly's car? Is that the one?
It was Jezzer hanging out at Daryl's car. I mean,
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there's the time where we went to karaoke and apparently, rumor has it, I pulled his pants down when he was talking in front of some girls. The
karaoke stories are like the funniest ones ever. I mean,
they're like the best ones ever.
And then Jezzer came up to me and Ernie and he's like, "Man," because I don't know if you guys know this. I'm 6 foot tall. I met you, Blackwing, but I'm 6 foot tall. Jezzer's like 5'2", 5'3", and I remember him coming up to me and Ernie after the night, and he was like, "You know how hard it is for me to talk to girls, and you pulled my pants down." Oh man!
Oh
gosh!
But just to shout out to people who just popped into the chat. Jascarit, thank you for being here. Jalen Glover actually showed up here. So thanks for being here, Jalen, my gosh. Spiderboy027, thanks for being here. Cairo, thanks for being here. All you guys, thank you so much for showing up. And also, if you guys have any questions for any of us or for questions for Joe, for that matter, feel free to ask. He'll be happy to answer those. And I'll put the link to that hashtag show in the description of this live stream. I'll probably put it in at the end of this. So if you have any questions for us, go ahead and shoot them away. But of course, we're just gonna be, we're just chatting about like the geek culture in general and like what do we love about it.
Yeah, so, I actually have a Power Ranger thing I got to bring up, which I shared like earlier in the week. So Blackwing and me were like talking about this way before we started, but I don't know if Joe knows. The first team up for Shattered Grid got announced this week.
The what?
For that big like event that's happening in the Mighty Morphin Comics.
Yeah, no, I know what Shattered Grid is, but what got announced?
Team up for it.
Oh, I know. It's Samurai, right?
Yes, you already know.
I'm so happy. You guys have no idea. This is like something I've been waiting for.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't know how much I can talk about like all this stuff, but I can tell you a little bit. We're working on, like, obviously you guys know about Power Morphicon, the prom.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking very closely with Saban and Boom Studios about the prom, and they really love the idea. And it's a possibility that they may be doing an exclusive variant cover for the prom. And I know that because I know that they told me that their next big storyline takes place around Homecoming, so this ties in perfectly with our Ancient World prom. So that is something to be on the lookout for. But that's not it. We also are you guys familiar? You guys are familiar with Hyperforce, right?
Yes. I mean,
I am. I just don't watch it.
Here's my thing with Hyperforce. It's a good show to have, and I really love what they're doing. I just can never get through like the entire show because it's so long.
I know. I agree with you, and you obviously, you guys both know that Peter is a really good friend of mine.
Yes.
So I will say this is that stay tuned for hashtag show in the next coming weeks because we have some big announcements concerning Power Rangers. There's not much I can do so much with. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I can tell you that it's not like Hyperforce, but it's something completely new, having to do with our own version of Power Rangers.
Ah.
Yes, and it's actually I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. Something.
Sure thing. Sure. While you bring that up, Jalen actually had a question. He said, if they made a live-action version of Justice League Dark, would you prefer a live-action or the animated version? And to be honest, I would actually love the live-action version. I mean, I saw the animated movie of Justice League Dark. It was okay. It's just oh my gosh, is that you guys dressed up as Q Rangers? That looks so cool.
You'll see. We have something brewing.
Something's brewing. I like that. I like that. That's awesome. That's really awesome. But yeah, I would love to see like a live action. I mean, a live action version of Justice League Dark would be awesome to have. And plus, they've been talking about it, and it's in the works. So just waiting for it to come out the wood shop. Another question from Cairo. She said, "Is there anything about the geek culture you think should change to make it better and gain more people, or so to speak?" I don't
Yes.
think it needs. I don't think it needs to change or anything. I just feel like it needs to be more welcoming, because the only time we, like Joe said, like the only time us geek people really get together is when we go to conventions. Other than that, we don't really, I'm sure we have friends like in schools and colleges that, they are geeks just like us, and how we fellowship with one another. And that's pretty much like the only times. And other than that, the conventions. But I don't think the geek culture needs to change or anything. I just feel like it needs to be more welcoming, and people just needs to just be kind to each other and open each other with open arms. Like, for instance, I know, take high school for example. High school is pretty much, can say people could be a pain in the butt for everyone, and I could say it was a pain in the butt for me probably until like my last year.
Was it?
And and say like if we're fans of something in high school, like just if you just don't be afraid to share it out. It's like we're all people, we're all humans on this earth. Let's just just fellowship with one another, talk about our favorite things that we love, we enjoy watching. Like let's just fellowship. That's all it is. It's just fellowship, networking with each other. That's pretty much what the geek community is all about to me.
I agree.
And that depends off.
I think that
So
go ahead, Kat. Sorry.
I think for me specifically, like, because now that I write for hashtag, it's like me to be like, okay, so I could talk about this, and like subgenre right? By obviously I do Disney, so like Marvel, Star Wars, that kind of stuff. Like I subgenre myself to like the stuff that I like, but then yeah, I also do like other stuff. I just don't write about that kind of stuff, but I like other stuff. So I mean that's just me, but personal preference.
I agree with you, Blackwing. I think that acceptance is such a big thing. I personally think, too, that when we go to conventions or when anybody goes to a convention, I think that people need to stop, especially I see this mostly in the cosplay community, is that people need to stop, I don't want to say picking on or excluding or bullying. I feel like a lot, and this is nothing against a lot of cosplayers, but anybody that knows me really, really well knows my disdain for some attitude that cosplayers have. Mainly because I feel like, listen, we're all geeks, right? So we're all into the same things. I feel like in the cosplay community, at times, it can be very kind of like, it can be very kind of catty and very kind of like, like exclusive. And I think that's kind of the wrong way to go about it. I think that we're all geeks, so we shouldn't be exclusive. I think that we should be a community of people that all like the same thing. I just hate that kind of like making people feel left out kind of a thing. It's not cool.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Jalen just said like, well, if you want my opinion, I think that most people are just afraid of admitting what they like and what they don't like, and they should expand more. That's also a good thing too, because people have different opinions about their particular fandoms and everything. So it's understandable to know. It's hard to like open up about your fandoms and everything, what you enjoy, what you love, and some things about the fandoms that you dislike. So it's pretty much like agree to disagree. That's pretty much how we all are.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to always like the same things, but at the very
Exactly.
end of the day, like, at least I can respect your opinion on why you don't like something and why I might, or vice versa. And I don't think anybody's stupid for liking something or not liking something. That's just a taste thing. Like, if I personally don't like bread. I don't like the food bread. I know it's weird, but I don't. I don't like pizza. Like, and it's so weird, but it's the same thing as like, oh, certain people don't like mushrooms, right? I love mushrooms. So it's just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. Wait,
right.
That even makes sense. It makes sense in my head.
Oh no, sorry, Jalen. There isn't any way for you to call in. I mean, because pretty much we planned this like months ago in advance. But oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My brother's in the chat room right now. Oh my gosh. But
Oh boy.
yeah, no, don't worry. My brother's cool and everything. Me and him, we respect each other very, very much. And he could be a pain in the neck sometimes, but I love him to death.
Hey, I
Like,
got a question for you guys. On After Dark, who would you guys want to see? Like, which other cast members do you want to see that you haven't seen together on a show? Because
on
I don't
After Dark, on After Dark.
on shows that I don't generally work with here, like in front of the camera. I know that like me and Ernie never are really on shows together. I know I'm never really on shows with Sarah either. But which three people on hashtag show would be your combination that you'd be like, all right, I want to see this show?
Okay, I would
Ernie,
see
Bro, and Sarah. I would kill to see them three together.
I'm going Sarah. That's an interesting combo.
let's see. Okay, for me, I would say Kelly, Daryl, and Migdalia.
Kelly, Daryl, and Migdalia. Okay, we'll make those happen. We'll make those happen.
We should, for sure, Jalen. Cause all right, so Joe, I don't think you were. Yeah, you weren't at the last After Dark. That was like 2 weeks ago, where Jalen actually called in, and he, my gosh, this guy's voiceover talent.
I heard about this last week.
I am impressed. I am completely impressed at what this guy can do. Cause his Loki impression is like way beyond mine. I was like, wow, I'm just impressed by what this guy can do.
And also shout out to Larry because he's in the chat room right now.
Oh yeah, Larry, my man, Larry Newbill, what's up?
I love that dude. That dude's great. Larry's awesome. I can't wait to actually meet all you guys at MorphiCon. Because MorphiCon, where it's all going to happen. This is also, we're going to be debuting this show. But you guys can't really see some of that. But that is a Power Ranger related show. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're debuting that at MorphiCon.
Yeah. For those wondering what Power Morphicon is the official Power Rangers convention. They've been doing it since 2007, and it's a Power Rangers convention that they do every 2 years. Just, to celebrate some fantastic moments of the franchise. What's going to be happening next year is supposed to, celebrate the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, and, you have a whole bunch of Ranger actors that are going to be there. Who knows, maybe some Super Sentai actors may show up next year, because I know last year some fellow Sentai actors showed up, which was amazing, by the way. But next year for PMC, regardless of, you got the panels, you have the Ranger actors that are going to be there. But for those who don't know, that hashtag show, they're going to be having their own event, and Saban and gave the green light for this. They're going to be having an Angel Grove prom, meaning fans of Power Rangers are going to be there. Ranger actors are going to be there. And what that hashtag show has done, they gave us the opportunity to actually, do proposals to fellow Ranger actors to ask, kind of like a regular prom. Ask a fellow Ranger actor out to prom. Or it could be, one of the friends of that a fellow hashtagger.
Or it could just be anybody. I don't understand. People should be taking the opportunity and asking anybody.
Yeah, just pretty much the opportunity to ask anybody to, enjoy, just go to a prom, have a good time. And it's not like a prom where you have to dress in a tux and a formal gown or anything. It's just going to be casual. You just go there, have a good time. There's going to be karaoke there. So I've heard.
That a lot of people are getting tuxedos and prom dresses.
Some people are actually getting tuxedos?
That's cool. Larry's So
that
wait,
should not even
hold on.
surprise me.
Wait, Kat, did you get asked by Carlos? Is that true? Am I not allowed to say that?
I haven't asked anyone yet. No, I've been so busy this week and like the past month with my hashtag stuff that it's I just haven't had a chance.
I thought Carlos asked you.
No, surprisingly, no one asked me. I'm not surprised.
And then I know that Blackwing here is asking Camille.
Yeah, I sent in my my video to you guys. It just hasn't been played yet. But the only problem was when I recorded it, it said it was too small, so I sent it in through Google Drive. So hopefully you guys will be able to find it, because it was short, and plus I was outside and it was cold, because I didn't want to do it in a public place. People are gonna wondering what are you doing? What are you recording? Don't worry about it. So I was just walking, just recording my prom proposal and everything. So hopefully you guys will be able to play it. I think hopefully this Saturday.
Derek Hervey, I think, is going with Migdalia. And
I thought Derek was said he. I know because I know Derek. He proposed to Christiani. He's just waiting, a response back.
I don't think he's gonna get a response back. Sorry to say, but I don't. I think he's going with Migdalia, and I think that isn't Daryl going with like.
He's going with Diane. Diane. What's her name again?
Diane Chan or something.
Yeah, there we go. That's her name.
Yeah.
So is it literally just like the four of us that have prom dates so far?
I mean, I'm the only one that's that's unofficial because like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to go. So hopefully,
He's not the only one. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
Guys, you guys got to find a way out to MorphCon 2018. It's going to be the place to be, or else you're going to hear
I know. And like,
years
I know.
Of how fun MorphCon is.
I'll hear about it online. Don't worry.
Yeah, I hear a lot. I heard so many stories.
Online and I care.
Oh man, did you guys didn't go to
the
2016 MorphCon, did you?
No, but I heard how awesome that was. With the whole passing of the torch with Peter and Yoshi. I heard that was the most epic moment of the entire convention.
Well,
I saw videos of that. I didn't cry, but I was like, I'm probably gonna cry watching this.
It was a great moment. Also, that's the first year we ever had a Power Ranger party, actually, and it was an unplanned party. We ended up having,
oh yeah, it was the unplanned karaoke party.
Unplanned karaoke party where all the Rangers ended up showing up, and then I think it was weird. Like Michael Tabor was buying people beers. It was the weirdest. Or I don't know if it was Michael Tabor. It was somebody. No, it was who was it? It was John.
It was Jason Font, wasn't it?
Well, Jason Font, yes, that was upstairs. But John Mark Loudermilk from.
Here we go. Yeah, I was like, wasn't John Loudermilk that was buying you guys drinks? Yeah, that's what I heard.
Cameron Gibo started. We got into a foosball tournament, which we ended up losing, but it was fun.
This is why I feel like
you guys have from.
This is why I feel like I might. I don't know. Somewhere in the future, I feel like I might want to move out to Cali because I feel like you guys have so much fun over there. I mean, New York has its perks, but you can only get so much here in New York.
Yeah, listen, nothing beats California, guys. It's beautiful every single day. Every major convention, every major geek event comes in California. Listen, I liked New York when I was there, but you guys only really have New York Comic Con. That's it.
We also have this one other convention. Not a lot of people know about it. We have Big AppleCon. JDF goes to that convention a lot. But yeah, those are like the only ones that are known about here, and only a few in Long Island. Like we have this one called WinterCon, EternalCon, and Ace Comic Con. So we have a few stuff that happens around here.
There's a con out in LA every single week. Like no joke.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'll just give you a rundown of the cons that.
Yeah, we only have like a couple cons here. We had Walker Stalker, which is like our zombie con that I didn't know about like that. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we don't have that many cons in Jersey. We only have like the year, and that's like it. So it's like almost.
January, we're going to have Anime LA. We're doing a lot of stuff there. We're also going to have Gallifrey 1, which is the big Doctor Who convention. We're going to have Long Beach Comic Con that same week. Then we go into WonderCon. Then there's E3, Anime Expo. We go right into San Diego Comic Con. Power Morphicon. There's a lot out here. This is the place to be, 100%.
And then PMC, of course.
PMC.
Yeah, you got PMC, you got Stan Lee's Comic Con, of course.
Stan Lee's LA Comic Con. I think there's a few other like anime cons. There's a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised you brought up anime convention. We do have an anime convention up here called Anime Con. And it's just same place as at the Javits Center, but I guess not a lot of people, unless you live here and you know about it, then that's the only way you'll find out about it. But other than that, yeah, we have a few fair share of conventions that we have up here. Like, I mean, of course, you got the New York Auto Show that happens here a lot, but that's only if you're a lover of cars and everything.
Yeah, we have so much out here. It is a lot of fun. It is the place to be. I love California.
Actually, question: have any one of you have been to C2E2? No, Cairo, I have not, but I've heard about C2E2. I know about it. It's kind of like on the same level of New York Comic Con, but of course, it's up there. It's up there next to like San Diego and WonderCon. But yeah,
Both in LA,
that
by the way, San Diego and Wonder. Well, San Diego's in San Diego, but it's pretty close.
yeah, it's close. But regarding I know here's one thing I do want to talk about though, the anime. Oh, hold up. Ryan Earl Wizard Magic. Ryan, you need to stop making your name so long. My gosh. Ryan, just
Oh my god.
I was so happy when you had
I didn't think
names,
anybody from the
Thomas,
Facebook
but
group was coming.
Ryan Earl Wizard Magic Dragon Thomas. Thanks for being here, man. I'm so glad you're actually to be here.
Hey, did you guys put it in THS hashtaggers? Have more of those guys come in.
I did. I shared the link.
Yeah, Kat was the one that shared the link into the chat. I was trying to get some of the other guys, like I'll try to get One Man Sentai to join in here, and Derek Hervey, but I guess they're probably unavailable at the moment. And I know Abigail
And I
was
know
working.
Larry's probably still on his way to Atlanta, so I knew there was no way he was coming in.
But yeah, and I know Abigail's working, so a lot of things are happening right now. But at least it's good enough to have you guys here in the live chat and a lot of people here in the chat room. So this is perfectly fine. And the more people come, the more the merrier. So I do want to mention something though about Sentai, because a lot of people don't know about the Sentai and people don't know where Power Rangers originally comes from. So I know, Joe, you have a fair share of watching Sentai. You too as well, Kat. And for me, because I started watching Sentai like last year in the summer. But Joe, if you may, you can explain to everyone in the chat room where Power Rangers gets their footage from and what Super Sentai really is.
I mean,
I don't know what happened. So
like watching something because
what?
like
Kat, you're kind of going in and out at the moment.
Yeah, I like her screen's frozen. All right, so Sentai pretty much is a it's called Tokusatsu. Tokusatsu is pretty much the rubber suit monsters and stuff like that. It's a big trope in Japan. Godzilla's a Tokusatsu, Ultraman. There's all these past Tokusatsus. Power Rangers derives from the Super Sentai, which is a toei, T-O-E-I. I can never say it right. Toei thing.
Toei. There you go.
It's it was originally I think it started in like in the 70s, like late 70s. And
yeah, 1975.
Right? Yeah, I thought it was 75. And then what it is it's 5 colored heroes that get powers and have to go on extraordinary adventures. And in the Sentai version, it changed every year to a new cast. Whereas our Power Rangers, which differed about it, is that we started off with 5 Rangers that carried over for the better part of like 5 years, I think, 4 or 5 years. So that's the biggest difference. We take our stock footage, we call that stock footage in the United States from Japan. We take all the suit stuff from Japan and apply it to our current Ranger iteration here in America. That's how it gets adapted. We do a lot now. We do more now with our own. I don't want to even say American shooting, I guess, because it's really shot in New Zealand now. But
yeah,
we do a lot with that, and yeah, I mean that's kind of what Power Rangers and Super Sentai is. It's a derivative of that. Now there's certain seasons that are exact cut and paste. I think Samurai comes to mind that is very close to the Japanese counterpart. But then we have
yes, it is.
We have American
yes, it is.
Like Space, which is called Mega Ranger in Japan, which are completely different. So, because Mega Ranger in Japan is more of like a video game season, and our season in Space is a space season. So there's a lot of differences there too. I mean, RPM is completely different than what it was in Japan.
Yeah,
and sometimes we execute it better, sometimes we don't.
It's true though. But yeah, for those, if you want to get in on the Super Sentai love, all right, thank you so much for stopping in, Larry. Your presence here was just perfect. That's all we can ask for. But
Thanks,
for those who don't know about the Super Sentai, and if you could, Oh my gosh! And speaking of Jezer, he's actually in the chat room right now.
Of course. Of course.
What is up, Jezer? Glad you can be here, man.
Somebody's super chat. I can tell a Jensen story.
So for those who don't know, that I know Super Sentai is not available to us, and it wasn't for a long time. But there's this company called Shout Factory, and they've been producing these DVDs called they're Super Sentai seasons. And what they did was they started from Zoo Ranger, which is the Sentai adaptation of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And from then on, they've been going season by season by season, even releasing the seasons that we didn't get, like Die Ranger, for example. Because for those who remember the White Ranger costume, that was only used in season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But the other team suits, they weren't used. But the White Ranger suit, the Zords were used, but nothing else was ever used in MMPR season 2. So I love what Shout Factory is doing for us, getting us fans who love Power Rangers so much, getting us on to jump on the Sentai train and seeing where Power Rangers comes from, how it came to be. And I know a lot of people want to check out the ones that are before Zoo Ranger, and I know trying to find those are very, very hard to find. I know, but question, Joe, does Toei know that us Americans use the streaming sites to watch some of these Sentai seasons? Are they okay with it?
I mean, they have to be, right? Like, how else is the American consumer going to get it? We don't really have something that's laid out like that. I think it would be smart, though, if somebody like Funimation or even Netflix or somebody has got the rights to that, because I think there's a market. And if there's, honestly, what Toei is doing is they're leaving money on the table by not letting a distributor pick it up and stream it, because people are getting it for free right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they really wanted to. I mean, listen, I like it being free, but they just shut down Kiss Asian, and now I watch it on like another streaming site. But it's a market, and I think that people somebody should capitalize on it. I mean, listen, how cool would it be to have a backlog of all these different Sentais that you can just watch on TV whenever you want?
It'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. You
can do that with Power Rangers.
It'd be so cool. Yeah, it'd be really cool to have.
But so far, Joe, what has been like your favorite Sentai seasons that you've watched so far? Because I watched like a fair share of Sentai since last year, since I started watching Die Ranger, and seeing the multiple iterations, I was just hooked immediately. So, from your perspective, where have been like your best Sentai seasons that you've watched?
I think my favorite is Gokaiger, but the one that holds a near and dear place to my heart is Q Ranger. But we have I'm going to say this, we do have a fun adaptation of what our version of Q Ranger should be, and that's kind of what we've been talking about, which is I've been showing you a little bit of artwork for it. That's going to be exclusive to our channel. We're going to drop that at MorphCon, but before we even get there, you guys will see a little bit more of it. But it'll be pretty cool. I actually think our adaptation of Q Ranger is very, very good, and the story I think is going to blow people away.
Like, yeah, that's awesome. For me, sorry, Kat.
Like, for me though, I love Q Ranger. Them bringing it to America and then being messed up.
Well, that's why I don't want them to bring Q Ranger to the United States. Actually, I would prefer that they didn't, because I think it's a perfectly good season that they can actually mess up. So it makes me nervous. But I don't think Hashtag Show is going to mess it up. We're going to do Q Ranger right, but just trust me, it's going to be different from the Q Ranger that Japan's doing. It's going to be a lot different. But it'll aesthetically, the suits will look the same, but it's going to be. I think people that are hardcore Power Ranger fans are going to love it.
I'm excited.
So,
I can't wait.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears over to let's talk about the comic book industry for a second. Joe, you're a comic book reader, correct?
I am.
Okay. And are you, Kat? Are you a comic book reader?
I've never read a comic book in my life.
All right. So I want to talk about right now is pretty much. Well, before we talk about the 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 go-getters right now, DC and Marvel. I want to talk about like the other individual companies like IDW and Dark Horse. I recently started reading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles earlier this year, and it's actually, to be honest, it's really really good. And what I love about IDW is they're able to take our favorite like cartoons and able to put it into comics, even though Ninja Turtles already had their own comic like way back when.
From Dark Horse.
With I think it was Mirage Comics, if I'm correct. And right now, I know IDW starting next year, they're gonna be doing the a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book series, because I know Sega lost their rights to the Archie comics earlier, somewhere in the middle of this year. So how do you guys feel about the what's, I wouldn't call it the mainstream, but like the lesser known comic book companies like IDW, Dark Horse, Image? How do you guys feel about those companies?
Well, I don't think Image is a lesser-known company. I mean, they have the #1 selling comic in the world right now. It's The Walking Dead.
Well, yeah.
They also have Saga, which is like the best critically acclaimed comic in the last like 10 years. But the smaller companies, I'm a huge Boom Studios fan because I think the Power Ranger comics actually the best. This is not me being biased. I actually think the Power Ranger comic book is one of the best comic book ongoing series out there currently. And it's mainly because I think that with DC and Marvel, they get too lost in their storylines. They get too lost in what they're doing. DC was really hitting its stride like in the early to mid 2000s with like Blackest Night and Green Lantern Rebirth. And I actually haven't been really compelled about any Marvel storyline since like in the early 2000s as well, with Brian Michael Bendis doing his Avengers, New Avengers, Mighty Avengers run. Other than that, though, nothing's really impressed me with Marvel. I love the movies, but comic-wise, nothing can get me really entertained. I love the smaller companies, mainly because that's stuff that like that you wouldn't it could get lost in the shuffle if it was at Marvel or DC. Titan is putting out Doctor Who right now, which I think is really good. G.I. Joe, another IDW book. I loved G.I. Joe when that was going on. I wasn't a big Transformers fan, but I did read a little bit of it. Ninja Turtles I've read a little bit of, but I like the smaller comic companies. I think people should support those. I think mainly, like, listen, guys, the three of us are Power Ranger fans. People should be reading that comic book. It's amazing. Like, it's really, really good. And to be honest, people that have complaints about Super or Ninja Steel, the alternative to that is either watching Hyperforce or reading Mighty Morphin or Go-Go Power Rangers, the comics, and the comics are killing it right now.
Yeah, totally agree with that. But yeah, regarding now we're to DC and Marvel right now. I know pretty much everyone has their fair share of favorite DC titles and Marvel titles that they like to read. And right now, I can still say DC is still killing it in the game with Rebirth. I feel like if Rebirth wasn't happening, DC would really been losing their touches right now. But Rebirth really brought them back up in the game. And I feel like with Marvel right now, I really still feel like they're losing their touch. I mean, I'm not disregarding Marvel or anything, but here's the thing. I feel like they're putting too much faith in their movies that are making a lot of money, that they're incorporating their movie stuff into the comics, which to me, I don't think that's a good thing. And a lot of characters are being like let out, but I know with after the whole Secret Empire event with evil Captain America, now Cap is the good. They kind of made it two different Captain Americas, an evil Cap and a good Cap, which I found kind of weird, but I'll still work with it. But as of right now, I feel like they're using their movies to promote most of their work, and I don't like that. Like, starting right now, Marvel's having another Infinity related event starting next year, because I know they're only doing that just to promote Infinity War. And they kind of did the same thing last year with Captain America Civil War, when they did this event called Civil War 2. And I can tell you one thing, I was not happy with that event at the end, because it made, Captain Marvel feel like a bad guy, I mean, a bad person. And, Tony got put into a coma, and so many characters are getting put off the map. So many characters are losing their touches and everything. And I know right now Marvel's slowly trying to bring that back, but I know they've been doing it since I could say probably to like, you know, somewhere around 20 no not 2012, somewhere around 2013 if I would say, where when the MCU was in its phase 2, some characters started losing their touch, like Spider-Man, you know, became you know, a billionaire, had his own company, the whole Superior Spider-Man thing. It was kind of interesting, but I just didn't like it. But it's good to see that they're kind of stepping out of that branch and you know, trying to move forward with things. But how do you, I know, Joe, you're not a Marvel comic book reader, but what would you like to see Marvel do differently than what they're doing now?
Well, I think that with both companies, they're going back to the past and telling older stories. And I think that Marvel, like you said, Civil War 2 is pretty much a retrend of what Civil War was. And I think it's dumb. Like, why can't we just have new storylines? But DC's not is guilty of that as well. Now they're trying to infuse the Watchmen with the universe, and to me, that doesn't work. Like, tell me a new story that you don't have to go back and say, hey, well, you know, you really liked Infinity Gauntlet. Let's do this whole nother Infinity thing. Like, no, just give me something new, right? Like, Civil War came out in the early 2000s, and it was amazing. It was a groundbreaking story. You know, you can do that again. You have the characters. Just tell us new stories. What I do to get Marvel back on track, though, what they need to do is go back to the basics. Like, give people what they love. Like, honestly, I grew up a huge X-Men fan, and give me good X-Men stories. Like, there's so many stories you can tell with those characters. Give me something good.
And kind of a follow-up question to that. How do you feel about them bringing back Jean Grey and giving her her own X-Men team? How do you feel about that?
If it serves a storyline, if it serves a purpose and it's good, I'm okay with it. If it's just done as a gimmick, I don't think it's right. I think that, like, I hate when they would kill off characters and bring them back just to sell more copies of a comic book. It has to serve a story purpose to me. Like, certain characters shouldn't die anyways to begin with. Like when Cyclops died, it was stupid. Why would you kill off your best, turning into your best villain?
I didn't read that. I read about his death and everything, but yeah, I was mad after I heard that, you know, Scott got killed off. It was a bad move, because I know what they were doing was they were trying to push the Inhumans more. They were trying to kill off the X-Men and push the Inhumans forward, but I'm glad they didn't decide to do that. But it kind of really did hurt them a lot in the long run.
Exactly, and then they killed off Wolverine, and I thought that was stupid. I don't know.
Oh, man. Did you know Logan is back now? If you didn't notice, he is back.
Yeah, he's back, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like they're killing off characters just to bring them back. I think that's stupid. I don't like that at all.
And Kat, I know you're not a comic book reader, but how would you say Marvel could probably, you know, do things differently instead of just using their movies and using their movies to make a gimmick with the comics? How do you think they can do what can they do to make it better?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen any of the Marvel films, so I can't really say anything. But like, I figured they could just
haven't seen the Marvel film
to the story. No, well, I haven't seen one since like 2006, probably. That was the last time I really saw anything like Marvel.
Wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was my favorite Spider-Man ever. That was the last film I ever saw.
Okay, that's
like
a totally reasonable argument. That's totally understandable. And we got a question from Cairo. What are you guys' opinions on the Fox and Marvel deal, and how's it going to affect the future of DC and Marvel in the future? Okay, yes, the Fox.
I think it's going to affect it, but I think with like the superhero movies, because now we have X-Men coming back, and like we have like that situation happening. So I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's going to affect it that bad. Then like integrate them in Phase 4. It'll make sense if they're in Phase 4, because then they come back, we have new movies coming out, and it'll make more sense. It's like an average fan like me that hasn't seen a superhero movie. It would make more sense to do it that way.
For me, I think it does have both pros and cons to it. pretty much the only thing I was focusing on when that deal went through. I was just happy that, Marvel could go back to making Fantastic Four comics again, because let's face it, after that last Fantastic Four movie, we were left, even though it was 2 years, we were left with an empty, like, it felt like a long period of time with no Fantastic Four. I mean, sure, we only had Johnny and Thing running around in the comics, and Sue and Reed were off, fixing the multiverse. But it's good that we're having that, and I feel like with the MCU, it could give things a lot better, better choices to what to do with their characters. And another thing I wanted to say about this, I feel like with the MCU and everything, it's kind of ruining their merch. I would say it's kind of also hurting their merchandising as well. Like, we've been getting a lot of Marvel mobile games lately. And if you look at all the character designs, they're all MCU designs, which, let's be honest, to me, I can say I'm tired of seeing. Like, could we at least get some new different things and give us a console game, for instance. Like, I know we haven't had our Marvel console games for like a very long time. I mean, granted, the Lego games are doing their best, and trust me, the Lego games are so good. But give us give us a legit, Marvel game with a good story, a good selection of characters, and no, over expensive DLCs, because let's face it, us gamers, we hate over expensive DLCs that pretty much give us the cost of nothing. So that's why I feel like the Marvel Fox deal it's a good thing and also yet somewhat of a bad thing.
Back in my day when we played video games, it came in a cartridge. You didn't have to buy any extra dumb crap. Realistically, I think the deal's a good deal. I think that a lot of people are getting worked up about, we're going to not have X-Men movies anymore for a long time. That's not true. You got to realize, everyone has to realize that the Fox brand has a lot of plans and there's a lot of money invested there. Disney's not just going to fire off all these people, and they're not going to stop all these plans and all these assets from being overtaken, because at the end of the day, if they did that, they would lose a considerable amount of money.
Right.
So they have to keep the wheels in motion to continue to make movies. Things like Deadpool are probably still going to be separate and not in the MCU. But the actual X-Men probably will be. The Fantastic Four probably will be. But the real question is, where does that leave Gambit? That's still
good question. That's definitely a good question. I heard that the movie budget, I think it was pulled up to like $160 million for the movie budget.
I honestly think Disney will not make that movie for $160 million. If they said, hey, let's do it for $75 million, Disney would be like, okay, great, let's do it. I don't think the movie's going to happen. I will go on record as to saying this movie does not get made, even though we have a big Gambit spoiler coming out next week.
Yeah. In the chat, Jalen says, in my opinion, that's the way of introducing new characters and new backgrounds so they can learn and expand the comic book universe. I mean, yes, Jalen, introducing new characters is good and everything, but here's the thing though. When you do things like regarding with legacy characters, like Miles Morales is getting perfect love right now. Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, she's getting a lot of love as well. But there's also some other legacy characters, like take Sam Alexander, Nova, for example. His series got canceled earlier this year, and here's the thing: when you're bringing in legacy characters, it's hard to keep which legacy characters you want to keep in the spotlight and which ones you want to keep in the background. You want to start with the original legacy person that started that line. It's hard to keep it up when you're trying to balance it out with the original character. Here's what I say. I think what they should do, kind of do what they do with the Flash and pretty much what DC does with the legacy characters. I know what they do is they have them on different teams, or pretty much do what the Flash does. The Flash has like a big legacy bloodline. You have Barry Allen, Wally West, Bart Allen. You have the other Wally West. And now you have both Wally West in the same universe with each other. Pretty much, why not do what they do? I feel like they should follow that formula, and I would say that would make it even better.
But see, do you understand how confusing that was when you said that there's a Wally West and another Wally West in the same universe and all these?
Yes. Granted, it is confusing to say because the first Wally was the first Kid Flash, and now he's going by the Flash, and the other Wally, he's the current Kid Flash. So yes, it is. It's just I can say one thing: don't give them the same name. But yes, I feel like doing legacy characters are hard to live by and hard to keep front and center.
I agree. But DC does do it better. Look at Nightwing, right? Nightwing was a legacy character of Batman or the Robins, and I think that they have good lineage. The truth is, Marvel just doesn't really do the legacy characters, or at least they don't do them well. I think Kamala Khan may have been like the very first one that they did decently, and that's a pretty recent thing. X-23 actually was pretty cool for Wolverine. Yeah. I kind of wish that they would have stuck with that route if they were going to kill him off, but I think it's legacy characters for Marvel is a completely foreign thing, and honestly, I don't necessarily think they need them. The only reason that they would need them going forward are if they're going to change the movies up, but if they're just going to recast, then it doesn't really matter. But I do think that in the movies we'll start seeing legacy characters.
Yeah. I know Jalen also brought this up regarding comic book crossovers, and let's just say for me, I'm a sucker for crossovers. Whether it be intercompany crossovers like Justice League and Power Rangers, that was something when that was announced, I would never ever picture like the Justice League and the Power Rangers together on the same page. But I read that crossover. It was awesome. I'm saving up money so I can buy the graphic novel book of it, and I do plan to do a live read of it because for fans of both Power Rangers and Justice League, that's a definite given. But for you, Joe, if you could see any intercompany crossover, what would you like to see?
Well, back when I was a kid, you guys probably don't even know, but you guys probably heard about it. It's probably weren't yet when this was happening. Josh knows this. You had the DC versus Marvel big crossover.
Oh yeah, I heard of that. I read that story.
And people had to vote who they would want to win. Now, that was amazing. That was so much fun as a kid to read because you felt like you were controlling the pace of the story, and it was the coolest thing. Like, I know the story's not great, but for its time, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to be a comic reader then. And I think the charm of being a comic reader now, that kind of stuff is gone. I would love to see those companies kind of work out and look like I'd love to well, I guess Kat, you never have, but Blackwing, have you ever read Justice League versus Avengers?
Yes, I did. I was actually halfway through with that story. Like, I read the first 2 issues. I just never read issue 3. But the whole synopsis of that story, for those who don't know what JLA/Avengers is, pretty much you have the Grandmaster from the Marvel and you have Metron from DC plotting, just like putting both the universe at odds with each other. It's like a game. And also, for those who don't know, Krona, one of the Rogue Guardians, he's also an enemy of the Green Lantern Corps. He's also front and center of this. But there's so many things in that story that it's so good for a comic book fan to see because you have, the Justice League interacting with the Avengers. Like, the Avengers go into the Justice League world. They say what they're doing there is wrong. You have the Justice League going to the Avengers world, and you're saying what they do is wrong. And when these 2 teams actually clash with each other, it is probably one of the most craziest things that you would ever see, because when 2 teams, meet each other, they always try to first talk things out. But I found what's funny and cool that it was Thor that threw the first punch, and I was like, oh snap, it's on. It's straight up on from right there and right now, because it was just it's an epic story to read.
It's so much fun.
I could say from its time, it was awesome.
I agree. It was a lot of fun. But I would love to see that again. Like, I would love to see those kind of characters cross over the Avengers and the X-Men.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know I know for sure Marvel or DC never has plans to do that ever again. But they've gotten so many new characters now. I feel like, why not try it again? Because it'll be a cool thing to see. Like, the Teen Titans actually working with the champions. You have I know we don't have the Justice Society that's talked about anymore. But you know, DC has their wide variety of teams. Marvel has a wide variety of teams. You know, have the X-Men. You know, probably do have a little interactions with like the Doom Patrol, for example, because the Doom Patrol is kind of like they're kind of the Doom Patrol and the X-Men they're kind of similar as well because they're both they think they're both freaks of nature and they feel like they should be a part of society. So I feel like that's something that they can definitely try again if they wanted to.
I agree. If they wanted to, they should.
Yeah, they definitely should. Um, Speaking on behalf of DC, do you think that Wonder Woman will still be as successful? The sequel Wonder Woman would be as successful as the first one, or do you think there will be a change? I'm glad you actually brought that up, Jalen. So yeah, let's move on to the movie standpoint. I do want to say the DCEU, yes, I feel like they are in trouble with what they're doing, and I feel like Warner Brothers. I feel like Warner Brothers, they're not letting the directors do what they want. And I know a lot of people have their own opinions about this. I love Man of Steel. I love Batman v Superman, and I love Justice League. I say Zack Snyder, he's a master at Easter eggs. So pretty much what he started off with Man of Steel and what we got from then all the way to now in Justice League, we have so many hints and teasers that we've got. And I said this when I was doing a discussion with one of my other friends. I say Zack Snyder, he knows what he's doing. He has a plan on paper. He knows exactly he has his whole thing planned out. It's just the studio, he's not letting these directors do what they want. And I'm kind of happy that we're doing a Flashpoint movie, but I'm also kind of scared of how it's going to be, executed because let's face it, the Flash movie was in development and they lost 2 directors just because, of conflicts behind the scenes. And I was so mad when I heard that the director who was the director of the movie Dope, who was gonna direct the Flash, he left the project. And I was so mad when that happened because I was really looking forward to see what he could have given us for a Flash movie. And looking forward to now with, I know Shazam is now currently in the process. They're still going through the casting phases. I think they're almost done with it, and they're also about to begin shooting, let's say, sometime next year in 2018. But right now, of course, the only DC movie that we got that's coming out next year is Aquaman. So DC pretty much is cutting us short right now, and I can say it's the studio's fault for not letting these directors do what they want to do. How do you feel about this, Joe?
I disagree with you. I actually think that Warner Brothers is letting the directors do too much. I think the reason why Marvel's so successful is because Kevin Feige is leading that studio and letting them say, "Hey, this is your movie, but make sure that we can stay on a current platform." Whereas the directors for DC, I think, are doing their own things, and it's not a cohesive universe. I liked Man of Steel. Batman versus Superman was okay, and I hated Justice League. I thought it was terrible. But you can also tell that the studio was in trouble then. I think what they need to do, honestly, is hire a guy like J.J. Abrams. They should have when Marvel got Kevin Feige and Joss Whedon, DC should have gotten J.J. Abrams to lay out their whole 5-year plan. To say, like, this is where you guys should be in 5 years. This is the movies you should do. Flashpoint, honestly, if they're rushing this movie. Like, I don't think they should have. They're hitting the reset button right now, and they've only had like 4 movies. To hit the reset button with 4 movies, maybe 5 movies, is a bad first start. I mean, I guess you got Aquaman coming out soon too, but what? I don't understand why they're rushing it. Like, they should really figure out how to execute their universe better. Wonder Woman gave us hope that they could actually make good movies, and then you get Justice League. So, it's a shame, and I think they should just do a Flash movie. Let it be a fun Flash movie. I'm actually looking forward to Shazam, because I think that movie has a lot to. It has a lot of ways it could be just so different, because it's that movie, Tom Hanks movie, big with superpowers, and I think it could be a lot of fun. Personally, I would love to see a DC space movie. Maybe not a Green Lantern movie. Why don't they make an Adam Strange movie?
Good idea. That's actually a good idea.
That like, had you would have told me what Guardians of the Galaxy was 10 years ago, I'd been like, what? but now I know what it is. So maybe DC should do something like Adam Strange, and you know, not even promote it so much as a DC movie, but a sci-fi movie. Let's see if it's a good sci-fi movie that can connect to the bigger DC universe, because I think that would be really cool. I don't think we need to have all these marquee characters. Justice League Dark by Guillermo del Toro would have been amazing. You kidding me? Like, I wish that they would have made that movie. You know, the Nightwing movie excites me. I want to see what they're going to do there. And I know that Dacre Montgomery is rumored to be Nightwing. I would love to see that. We'll see.
But yeah, I agree. All right, I agree on most of the stuff, like you said. With like, they should have had someone on the front line, you know, giving them creative props and everything. And before the Wonder Woman movie, when Wonder Woman was like, I think it was during the filming phase, they added Jeff Johns to, you know, to oversee everything. What I feel like they should have added Jeff like way before this, because if you read Jeff Johns' work, Jeff's work as a writer, it's just beyond amazing. So he should have been on the front line since Man of Steel, giving everyone creative props and everything on what to do. And I know with Zack Snyder, he wanted to make BVS like the big forefront to make us know like Justice League is happening. And yes, I was excited to see that. And yes, it was, you know, the movie is a milestone because, you know, it actually puts Superman and Batman together in the same screen. You know, DC's two golden boys in the same movie, and I was happy for that. But I feel like I still wonder, what is Jeff Johns really doing? I'm not disgracing the guy. His work is phenomenal. I just want to know, like, are they really letting him do what he needs to do?
He's a good comics writer.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he's a great film guy. I mean, realistically, everybody forgets this, but Jeff Johns was the executive producer on the Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds. And that didn't do fantastic. So I think that a lot of people need to really they need somebody that's a good storyteller. So if they were to get somebody like J.J. Abrams to really fix their universe, or, you know, somebody that's on that creative level but understands the geek world, they'd be fine.
Definitely. Kat, I know we have you like quiet for a moment, but is there something you wanna you could talk about, like how do you think the DCEU could probably, you know, make themselves better, or what can they do to improve? Or how do you think it, you know, with it being in trouble, how do you think they could probably pull themselves out of the gutter?
I mean, they need to make this Flash movie good. That's the only way they can bring themselves back from the failure of Justice League. They need to make this Flash movie one of the best movies ever. And I agree with Joe. It needs to be a regular Flash movie. Don't make it the Flashpoint. They already did that in a TV show. We don't need to see it in a movie. We just need a story in a movie. And that's all we need to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I know with,
but again, my opinion.
Yeah, I totally respect that. And I know with the MCU, I mean, with, you know, going to 2018, that's going to be the MCU's 10th anniversary, which I'm just realizing that now. So all pretty much how they started out, you know, with Iron Man, and then from that first after credit scene with, you know, Nick Fury talking about the Avengers Initiative, and then we've been all waiting for when the Avengers movie came out, and then we got that first look at Thanos, and boom, we're waiting for, like, oh my gosh, the Avengers are going to fight Thanos later on. We just didn't know when. I feel like, you know, Marvel, they had their plan. Of course, they had their fair share of movies. You know, they had the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. They had the X-Men movies, and their other movies, like, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen the Punisher movies yet, and I know they have the Blade movies as well. They had, you know, they had a lot of movies in the woodworks that were doing. Some were doing great, some weren't so great. So I feel like, you know, the MCU is kind of, you know, it's giving us the fan service that we want, and, you know, giving us that momentum to build their universe up to, you know, an epic on the grand scale. And I know a lot of questions go through people's minds, like, a lot of what goes through my mind after Infinity War, where can they go from here? Because we all know Thanos is like the big bad of the Marvel universe. So, like, where can they go from here?
Now we have Galactus. Galactus is back.
Well, yeah, now that, you know, the Fox deal went through, we have Galactus. So hopefully we could probably get like an epic clash with the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men going at it with Galactus. But if anything, what, like, Marvel adaptations or what stories of Marvel would you like to see adapted on the big screen? For me, now that we got the Skrulls coming out, and now that they have the Fantastic Four back, I think they could actually do a Secret Invasion movie, because that's what I want to see.
Everybody's kind of guessing Secret Invasion is going to be the thing. Me personally, I want to see Avengers versus X-Men. I love that storyline. You can now see that. There's a lot that they can do. Personally, though, I think where DC kind of failed, though, is that they rushed their universe. In Batman versus Superman, the reason I didn't like it is because after Man of Steel, and even during Batman versus Superman, it doesn't make you care about Superman. So when he dies, it doesn't make you care as much that he died. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, only seen this guy for 2 movies. Whereas with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, you've seen him for the last 10 years as playing Iron Man. So if he were to die, you're going to care.
Right.
That's where I think that they rushed it. Like, why would you do such a great story like Doomsday so quick? And why don't you do it after the Justice League finds each other, and then they have to fight Doomsday, and then so like I think they're rushing their universe, and the other one with Marvel, they're just taking their time. And I think Marvel does have a villain problem, but I think that'll be solved eventually.
Right. The thing that popped up in my head after the Fox and Marvel deal went through, how are they going to explain the Quicksilver predicament? Because when Days of Future Past and Age of Ultron were during the filming process, we had 2 different Quicksilvers, and one of them had to kick the bucket. So how do you think they're going to explain the Quicksilver persona now they have the X-Men rights and the Fantastic Four?
I mean, I don't think they do necessarily. I don't think they really have to. I mean, Marvel's done a great job of making their movie universe their own universe. I think that they're taking liberties with their properties. For example, in the comics, Hank Pym is not a 80-year-old man or 70-year-old man. So I don't think that that's going to be too much of a problem. I think they're just Marvel's always been known to take like a different direction in terms of just things. Like Hope Van Dyne being the Wasp. Well, that didn't happen in the comics. Now it is, but it's Jan that's the Wasp.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way to do it. So I mean, they can explain it in a lot of ways, especially with the Skrulls here now. They can say that was a Skrull that they killed, that wasn't the real Quicksilver, or they can say that hey, that was the real Quicksilver. Now there's a new one and it's a Skrull. They can do a ton of
That's a good way that's a good twist to it. I'm surprised I didn't even think about it that way, but yes, that's a really good twist to it. So we're gonna change the tables up again. Let's move it to the cartoons kind of stuff. For those who don't know, I know Joe, you probably already know about this, and I know, speaking as a fan of cartoon nostalgia and everything, sometimes when cartoons get movies, it kind of boosts their market up a bit more. So when Teen Titans Go was announced that they were getting a movie, how did you guys feel about that? But I don't like Teen Titans Go, but how did you guys feel about that at first?
I've never seen Teen Titans Go, so I can't tell you.
Kat, how do you feel?
I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen a little bit of it, but I actually didn't know it was being turned into a movie. Funny enough.
But yeah, so it was announced. I think it was somewhere. I think it's September. Teen Titans Go is going to be getting an actual full-length, feature-length movie with the same voice cast. I'm telling you one thing. I am going to see it, but I'm only seeing this movie just to support the voice actors, because you don't get. It's rare that you get the original voices of Teen Titans to come back to do a different show with just with a different taste and feel. But that's the only one of the reasons why I'm seeing Teen Titans Go the movie. But when they do like cartoon reboots, like I know Powerpuff Girls got their reboot, DuckTales has their reboot. When it comes to doing cartoon reboots, how do you feel? How do you think it should be done to make sure that they don't lose their audience? Because I know you have to deal with addressing new audiences, and you also have to deal with the old audience. So how do you think they should follow with that?
Kat? Well, I'm going to say, I think that they have to respect the source material, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think one of the cartoons that everybody was hyped for the nostalgia, and they had a great voice cast actually, was DuckTales, but I've never seen it. I haven't seen the reboot of DuckTales. Ninja Turtles was really good. I like Ninja Turtles, but now that's even getting another reboot. I'm excited for that one too. But I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. Like I'm fine with cartoon reboots. I mean, I would love for them to make another G.I. Joe like reboot. I love G.I. Joe. It was my big thing when I was a kid. But we'll see. I don't. To be honest with you, man, I don't watch very many cartoons. So
Okay.
I don't really know. I'm not. I mean, that's more of like a Daryl question. Like he loves.
Oh yeah. That you're right. That totally is much of a Daryl question. But okay, Kat. Regarding cartoon reboots, how do you feel? Are you for it or are you somewhat against it?
I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, I am for it, but it depends. Like Powerpuff Girls, I did watch when it was rebooted because I was like 5 when when the reruns were on, so I used to always see that. I think, I can go with the Pokemon thing. Like, and I'm gonna sound so biased for saying this. I like the original, and I kind of did enjoy a couple of the reboots, but I think it was as I got older and as I kept seeing it give, like, made new, I was like, yeah, no, there needs to be a point where it's just gonna stop, and then I can get caught up. But like DuckTales, I never used to watch that just because, like, I didn't have a lot of Disney stations when I was younger, so I was like,
Wait, did you just
whatever.
say that you didn't have a lot of Disney what when you were younger?
I didn't have a lot of like the Disney-owned stations. I had like ESPN, ABC, and like that stuff.
But I think you might have been a little too young though. I don't even know if DuckTales was. When were you born?
98.
When?
I was born in like 98. 98.
98?
So.
You were born in 1998? Dude, I'm talking about DuckTales when how old, Josh? How old's DuckTales? Like, when did it start airing? 92?
I think it was like in the 80s, wasn't it?
92, 91, somewhere around there, maybe 90. So, like, it's a little bit before your time. That's crazy that I'm having to tell somebody that DuckTales was before their time. That's insane to me.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. You were not even around when the NWO was born. There is, I don't think.
Okay, fair.
Wait, you weren't even born when Power Rangers even started. You were
I mean, no, I wasn't. Neither was I, but I was still able to catch on with the franchise. So,
wait a minute.
I know what it's all about. So,
Mighty Morphin guys' favorite, our first like season of Power Rangers.
No, I was born in '98, and I know that's when In Space was airing. But to me, my first Power Ranger season that I watched was, I think it was like around the end of time, like going around like the end of Time Force, going into Wild Force. That's when I started watching Power Rangers.
Yeah, I think that's cool though. That now there's kids out there like you guys that have a different first season. Like, this is imagine how because Josh here, who's here with me, he's a big Star Trek fan, and like, you have your fans that grew up in the different eras of Star Trek. When I was a kid, Next Generation was like the big deal. But like a lot of the old school fans that are like a lot older now, their big thing is the original Star Trek series from the 1960s. I guess same thing with Doctor Who. It's like when you start Doctor Who, who's your doctor? It depends on when you came into the series. But I like that Power Rangers, something completely different, is like I'm old enough to be like one of the fans of the original series, Mighty Morphin. But it's cool that like your first season is Time Force. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, my first season, I started watching in like 2011, so I picked up when like Samurai came out. And like
Samurai, like Jaden and Emily and Mike and Kevin and
yeah, that was my first season. And actually, I have a funny story about that. I think it was like a month before it like premiered or something, because I used to watch Nick, because they had like SpongeBob on at like 7 at night. I was like, I'll just watch that for an hour. I don't care. I think it was like a month before it premiered. They had one of the commercials on. I was like, oh wow, this is actually really cool. I didn't know Power Ranger. I didn't know anything about Power Rangers at the time, so I thought it was just like something new starting. So I got into it, and I think it was that summer. I think I was watching something. I forgot what. But the Sentai clip came up, and I was like, wait, what the? What? Oh, man. I didn't know it originated in Japan until I saw that clip, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Good job, you.
But yeah, because I know because the reason why I brought up a lot of about cartoon reboots, a lot of stuff has been rebooted. Like, Pokemon has been going on for like more than 20, almost 25 years now. DuckTales got rebooted. The Powerpuff Girls got rebooted. Ben 10 got rebooted. And
Again.
Yeah, again.
Third
But
time it got rebooted.
I mean, if anything, let's just say like with cartoon reboots, you know, you have two audiences you gotta, you know, look forward to. You gotta deal with the new audience and the old audience. You're not always gonna impress everyone. So pretty much, you know, everyone has, you know, their different opinions about things. So, you know, sometimes having cartoons rebooted, it's a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bad thing as well. But one thing that you did mention, Joe, when you said you used to watch G.I. Joe, did you watch the latest G.I. Joe cartoon, G.I. Joe Renegades?
I love G.I. Joe Renegades. You kidding me? That was so good.
Yeah, it was.
I could never get into G.I. Joe at all. I'm that one person that says I will never watch it until like somebody forces me to do it. And
I think for me, for G.I. Joe, I'm not the biggest G.I. Joe fan either. I think I pretty much got into it more when the live action movie came out, when I saw how cool these characters are, like, you know, Duke, Snake Eyes, Ripcord, Scarlet, Roadblock, all these muscle dudes with, you know, guns and everything, and skilled tacticians and everything. That, I feel like that's when G.I. Joe made a big hit for me. And I did watch most of Renegades. I wasn't able to keep up with it, but it was a really good show.
I wish that they would have kept Renegades going. It was really good.
But let's see. And if anyone in the chat has anyone in the chat had any questions or anything, but yeah, for those who are still in the chat, I know Ryan is still here, Pokemon Ranger is still here, Jalen is still here. But yeah, for those, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shout them out. We'll be able to answer them. And if you have any questions for Joe about that hashtag show, he'll be able to answer those for you as well.
I have a question for you, Blackwing.
Sure.
So why don't you like Hyperforce?
Okay. When I heard when I saw the concept of Hyperforce and how it was gonna be like, you know, this kind of, you know, board game kind of base mixed with an actual story, I found that very interesting. And when I was watching the first episode, it kind of felt, you know, odd to work with and hard to watch because, granted, Peter, I have no hate towards Peter. Peter's an awesome guy, and I was glad enough I got to meet him at NYCC back in October. And Andre, I met him 2 years ago at New York Comic Con as well. So the fact that Andre, who's also a big Power Rangers fan, he actually gets an opportunity to be part of the Power Rangers community and legacy, that's awesome for him. I just feel like it kind of misled me a little bit on what it was, because when it said it was going to be like an actual like show, like in all its own web series and everything, I was totally for it. And then seeing what it was, like, you know, this board game kind of base with a story, I kind of like didn't understand it at first. And I love what they're doing though, you know, incorporating former Rangers to join in on episodes. That's brilliant. It's just, for me, it's trying to hard to and the fact that the episodes are, you know, like so long, like there's so much that you can just obtain in, like, you know, a 2.5 hour episode for that matter. So it's a lot to dig in, but it's a good thing to have for the franchise. So I don't hate Hyperforce. It's just, it's a lot to take in for me. That's pretty much what it is.
Now, what do you feel about Hyperforce?
I started watching the first episode. I need to get caught up. Because I'm lazy and forget to watch when it's on Twitch.
It's very hard to catch up, mainly because they are 3-hour-long episodes.
Yeah, but I usually have time because I'm usually not doing anything, so...
So, again, you pretty much, what I got out of this Blackwing is you don't like Hyperforce because it wasn't what you expected it to be.
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of misled me a little bit. But
hey, Peter, come here for a second. I got a guy that doesn't like your show.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to say, wait, hold on a second. You actually got me. Oh my gosh, you had me scared for a second. Oh man, I'm like, oh snaps, I'm about to say we have an actual Power Ranger guest star on my channel right now.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, no, I like the show. I think I do somewhat agree with you. They are long, and I think you gotta. It's a hard sell, and I think that they're trying to do a good job at it. Is that you're trying to get the people that are into Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of the role playing games, but also the Power Ranger audience, and I think it's a hard sell, but I think they do a good job at it. I am happy for the fans that they get different Power Ranger content. But I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you guys, for the Ranger wrap-up, you guys don't want us to be focused on Hyperforce? You guys want us to do it on, like, the retro Ranger wrap-ups again?
I was about to ask you about that because, you know,
Yeah,
you
same,
guys haven't done a retro Ranger wrap-up since, you know, when
Yeah.
Ninja Steel came back on the air. And with Hyperforce coming on, like, you have so much stuff to balance out. So I know for you guys it's tough to do because with all the after shows that you guys do, you know, a
Well,
DC after show.
There's rumors here at Hashtag Show. Now that we have, do you guys both subscribe to Pop Culture Renegades?
I am.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so we're moving some content there. We're moving a few after shows there. We're moving some people there. I know, and we're introducing some new people. You're gonna get to see. You guys know Kevin that does the wrestling show with me?
Yes,
I do.
yes.
So Kevin's gonna be over there. He's gonna be doing Doctor Who with possibly Brianna and possibly a new girl coming on, Lori Tagawa. And what's the other? Vanessa. There's so we have a couple new girls coming. We have Achievement Unlocked has their own channel now, but they're starting to build up. Jezzer is actually on that, so it'll be Kelly, Jezzer. Brian's going to be back for that.
Oh, nice! Really? That's awesome.
From Korea, he'll be doing it live from Korea.
That's
so,
incredible.
Yeah, Brian will be back for that, and who else is on that team? John Naya, who I don't know if you guys have met him yet. He's been on doing a couple streams there.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I know who he is. So
yeah, John's a good guy. I'm actually going to see him tomorrow. But like now, we're creating 3 separate brands and extending our I guess our reach and our family, our community. So now you'll have Hashtag Show. And we're also doing something new in 2018 is we're going to be doing Facebook exclusive shows. So I know that Daniel and Sarah have been talking about it for a while now, and now we're doing the dating show. It's going to be on.
Yes. Whatchamacallit?
Quest for Player 2.
Yeah, there we go. Quest for Player 2.
That'll be on Facebook. Star Wars. Ro and I are on Star Wars. We have a Star Wars. I don't know if you guys know this, but I know Kat knows this because we have Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star Wars Fanatics.
Yeah, Star Wars Fanatics, Star Wars Trilogy page. That is our Star Wars page. So anything like we're separating our content. Also, we have THS Power Rangers, which is another Facebook page that's dedicated to just Power Rangers.
Yeah, I know that page.
So
that page I know of.
We do have a lot of new content coming out. And the reason why we're doing that though is it expands us to have more content for like Power Rangers. So now we're thinking now. I think we're gonna do the wrap up Morphin Monday. I was going to say the name of it. I'm not allowed to say the name. A new Power Ranger thing, and possibly we might be going to 4 Power Ranger shows a week now. So
wow,
different content, and I know that obviously over on PCR they're doing Star Trek. I know that I think tomorrow you guys are doing Bright, the Netflix show Bright. They're going to be talking, or Netflix movie Bright. They're going to be doing a special on that. So look for a lot more specials. Look for this weekend's After Dark is going to be so much fun.
Like, yeah, it's the Christmas After Dark. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I've been so busy, like, cause for the I'm not gonna be around for the holidays. I'm gonna be in Denver with some family, and then I'm spending New Year's in Vegas. Can you believe it?
Are you gonna gamble? You're not allowed to gamble, huh?
No, I'm not gonna gamble.
Wow.
I'm getting lottery tickets for Christmas, so I'm happy.
You got what tickets for Christmas?
I'm getting lottery tickets because I can finally play the stupid lottery games for once.
The what? What are you talking about?
No, because like our Christmas tradition in our house is when you turn 18, because technically you can play lottery tickets then. I'm getting them again this year.
Lottery tickets. Gotcha.
I'm probably getting $2 from them. I already know it.
Yeah, so yeah, the holiday special. We are doing a Christmas special this Saturday, That's going to be so much fun. I know that it's going to be me, Sam, Migdalia. Oh, I got to see if Maverick's coming. Let me ask her. Maverick.
I know Maverick hasn't been around for a while.
She's here. I mean, did you not see the? We just did like a thing together, her and I. One of the big.
Oh yeah, the Wonder Girl exclusive. I saw that video.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look back. I've been so busy lately. You know how it is. Are you guys planning on doing that New Year's Eve live stream that you guys did last year?
We did a New Year's Eve live stream?
Yeah, where you, DJ,
Daniel,
you guys were playing Cards Against Humanity on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, we were all hanging out.
I was here?
Yeah.
Yes, you were there.
I don't remember this. Was I drinking?
No, you wasn't.
Yes.
You were sober.
Yes, he was. No. He had a Bud Light. He had a can of Bud Light.
What?
I forgot. But
You were
yeah,
live streaming Cards Against Humanity?
yeah, it was you,
Yeah.
DJ, Jasmine, Migdalia, Brian, Sarah, Daniel. You guys were playing Cards Against Humanity, and you guys were live streaming for like 3 hours.
This was I do remember this because this was in our conference room, and we had to do different promos, and we'd have to get pulled one by one.
Yes.
The people that had to stay back. Yes, we are going to be doing something like that. That's a great thing. Yeah. So, but I think this time though, because we have so much we have to do, is that I think we're going to bring in all three of our casts from Pop Culture Renegades, #show, and Achievement Unlocked, and do it all together. Because I don't know, pulling the curtain back, I don't even know if you guys know this, is that our cast, the 13 people on #show, have never.
You guys have never been in the same room at the same time. I've heard the story.
Never been in the same room at the same time. But I think at the beginning of the year we have to be, mainly because we have promo things we have to record. So I know that we're
I'm still surprised with you guys having a cast so big that you guys can't be in the same room. I know it's a lot to handle and just like in such a small space, but yeah, I can tell it's a lot to handle.
The space is actually pretty large. It's the schedule. So the scheduling us, I can understand now why Marvel never wants to do another Avengers Infinity War ever again, because they have all these A-list stars they have to schedule around. We're not A-list stars, and I understand how hard, and we're only 13 people, so I understand how hard it is to get all of us in a place at the same time. It's very difficult to do. But I can only imagine now that I guess our big Infinity War is going to be all three of our casts together. First of all three of those casts aren't even finalized, but I know that we're still getting new people coming in, a lot. So we have a lot of people coming out now. I mean, funny enough, Derek Hervey might be joining our cast if he moves out to LA. So,
oh my gosh, really?
Oh my god, that's gonna be incredible.
That's
so
excited. Awesome. That is really, really awesome.
That's gonna be so cool.
That'll be fun. Yeah, but I love hanging out with everybody here. It's just man, if this is work, I don't know how this can be work. It's but
I'm surprised I never brought this. Do you guys get paid for doing this?
Yeah, dude, millions and millions of dollars. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the Rolex I wear and the car that I drive? The car is actually a nice car. I mean, I do drive a nice car. It wasn't until that's another one. You guys don't even know about this.
Oh yeah, just crashed into your car. That I did.
Oh, yeah.
Idiot. That little troll. He crashed into my car.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I have to bounce off of what Joe said though, because I've been writing for # for about a month, well, over a month now, and I think it's incredible because I'm writing geek content with some of my best friends, and it's something that I don't think 2 years ago actually, none of you guys actually know the story. So I started actually writing 2 years ago for crap, I forgot the website, but it was. Yeah, no, I used to do writing for a different website before I switched over to HuffPost, and then after that website got sold, I was like, oh great, so I can write for HuffPost now. Yes, and then because of that, Joe over here was the one that offered me to do writing for #, and it took me finally decide this is something I want to do because I know # well enough. I know the content that they do, and it's Disney's my forte. That's in my family.
I know you're writing Star Wars now too. That's great. Keep writing more Star Wars stuff. That's the stuff we need.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to do like sub-genre to Disney, so I'm like Marvel I can do, the X-Men stuff I know what I'm doing, so it's like easy. And Star Wars is like I can find anything online. Like
Yeah, you're really doing an awesome
possibilities.
job with the blog posts and everything. It's really, really excellent content.
Hey,
Yeah, it's like
how come you're not writing for us, Blackwing? You should be writing for us.
I was thinking this. I feel like you guys need an East Coast representative because I know I know all you guys are stationed in the West. So I
That's not
figured
true.
like,
That's not true. We actually we're there. There's possibility that there's this new girl coming on that she's going to be an East Coast. I forgot her name. I just met her like not too long ago. Miami. She's cool. But yeah, we might get East Coast representation. We also and you got Brian coming back, so Brian's in Korea.
I mean, yeah. So I was thinking like maybe you could have. I was thinking like have some of us, do some like coverage for you guys, talk about what's coming up on like the geek world here on for us, East Coasters, because I know since you guys are mostly stationed in the West Coast, and of course you guys get a lot of viewers from like you have Anna who's from Jamaica, you have Abigail who's from Germany. I know you guys get all these viewers, so I feel like adding some more widespread of representation across the
Well,
states
I
is
said
a good idea.
you Blackwing met Daryl and myself in New York, and I know that this year we plan on doing a lot more traveling. So I know that if we do East Coast cons, I think Megdalia is going to be going. I know that a lot of us are going to be traveling around this year, and we have been for a while now. Like I was in Hawaii earlier this year. Was in. God, I didn't even remember. Like I was on a trip not too long ago. Where was I? I don't even remember. No, I didn't go to New Orleans because that flight that got canceled. That trip got canceled. But I was.
I know you were in like North Carolina when I was still in Florida.
Also in New York. I was just somewhere. San Jose, maybe.
Oh yeah, because you went to the Winchester House.
Winchester House. I know it was there, but like I felt like I went on a trip after that. I don't know. I don't remember. It all like ties together now. But I'm supposed to go to London. I do know that, and then my passport thing got messed up. But yeah, so a hashtag show's going international. We're gonna be traveling all around. That's why we have like three different shows now. I need your guys' help to get people on this achievement unlock thing. Kelly needs more viewers on Twitch.
I mean, okay. I mean, the Twitch thing is good. I mean, I also follow Jasmine on Twitch because I know Jasmine goes online on Twitch like exactly at midnight, and by that time, I'm ready to like hit the hay. So when you have different time zones, it's hard to balance out, and you can stay up for certain things, but when your energy's that low and your body says like I need sleep like right now, it's hard to stay awake.
But Kelly's Twitch comes on at a pretty decent hour.
Yeah,
it's not as late as what's her name's, but like Kelly's comes on at a pretty decent hour. So I think that's fair. I mean, Kelly's pretty entertaining. John, if you guys have seen John, he's pretty entertaining. And you got Jezzer. Jezzer's a little beast.
Yeah, I missed Jizzer's stream this week. I was originally supposed to like watch it, and then I had like WWE on Monday, so I had to miss it, and I felt so terrible.
WWE. Yes.
But,
show. Are you a WWE fan, Blackwing?
I'm sorry, I'm not a WWE fan. I'm not into the wrestling persona, but I mean, I have friends who are, but I'm not wrestling. It's not, it's not my thing.
Oh yeah, so I have a funny story to tell you guys. I was watching SmackDown on Tuesday. Casual had USA on and everything. Commercials went on. I was like, all right, let's see what's on these movie stations. Like HBO's got to have something. Clicking through, I stopped at one of the stations that I normally don't watch. If I recorded myself getting so angry, I swear I would have posted it online. You were not going to believe. Okay, so I still have yet to watch Power Ranger film from this year because nowhere has been playing it. Like I've checked every movie station, nowhere's playing it.
I'm surprised they haven't put it on their stations yet. I'm surprised.
You haven't seen it, and you didn't watch it in theaters?
Actually, on Tuesday, that was the funny part. I found it. No, I found it Tuesday on one of the stations, and I was like so mad because I still had to finish watching SmackDown. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to put this on. I was so bad. Luckily, I found it on demand, and I did start watching it. I still need to finish it though. So yeah.
That is straight up crazy, yo.
It's insane.
Can't believe you haven't seen Power Rangers.
Yeah, Kat, you gotta get on the ball.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse the teenage girl.
But Joe, I do want to ask you a question though, because I know you also work for Screen Rant, and I know you also travel across California, interviewing celebrities on the latest films that are releasing.
He does
So
that.
yeah, I'm actually impressed that you do that as well as hashtag show. If I may ask, what was like the best cast or best film cast that you got to interview out of this year?
That actually is a really good question.
I know what his answer is going to be. It's going to be the Power Ranger cast.
It's not the Power Ranger cast. Actually, it's a toss-up, man. It could be maybe Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, that Chris Pratt interview. I'm still jealous he didn't do that. But I did like it.
Guardians of the Galaxy. No, you know what? It might be Star Wars, actually.
I figured it would be the Star Wars cast.
It's really tough to say because even the Doctor Strange cast was really cool. And some of the lesser movies, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I think the most fun I've ever had at doing one of those was Coco. So, yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun at Coco.
I've seen those interviews. I still haven't seen that movie yet.
Me neither.
It's a very good movie. You should check it out. It's a really good movie.
I heard Ernie finally saw it on I think he said Wednesday night. He actually said he didn't cry watching it. I don't believe him, but
yeah, I think because I know that because we did a lot of pre-screenings for it before it came out, and I saw it and it was really good, and I almost started crying, but I didn't. And then I know that Sarah, Myra, and Rob went together, and all three of them were crying when they went. So yeah, Maverick going After Dark because Maverick is back in Mississippi. I don't know if you.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
So here's
awesome.
Fun fact: Daryl's from Connecticut.
Oh yeah, Daryl is from Connecticut. I forgot about that because I know Daryl took a big break for you guys. I think it was after NYCC, he stuck around in Connecticut. I didn't know Connecticut was his hometown.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Daryl's from Connecticut. Jessica's from Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah. And
he's from Jersey.
Yeah, Migdalia's from New Jersey. Myself, Daniel, Rowe. Oh, Sarah's from Florida.
Oh, Sarah's from Florida.
Yeah. Who else is there? Me, Ernie, Rowe, Daniel. Me, Ernie, Rowe, Daniel, and Myra are all from California.
Wow.
And then who else is there? Sam is from. I think Sam is also from California.
Yeah, he's from San Bernardino.
Yeah, Sam's from San Bernardino. So that's 10 of us. There's 3 more that I always like. There's always 3 people that I always got. Rob is from Florida as well. No, Rob's
Kelly.
Rob's from Minnesota. Rob's from Minnesota. Yeah, and I don't know. I forgot who the other 2 people are. I know I'm missing.
Kelly, Jasmine.
Kelly's also from LA or from Orange County, but she's in California.
Oh, okay. What about did DJ say where you was from or no?
From San Diego.
I could see that. I can definitely see that.
DJ's from San Diego. Yeah, you chose the wrong team, man. What's wrong?
Oh my gosh, are we really gonna bring this up right now? We haven't talked about that fanfic in such a long time now.
I picked the right team. I picked Team Iron Man. Joe.
So it's funny. I'll bring this up for a second. So
sure.
With that whole thing that even started, it obviously was done as a joke, but we realistically took a not a look at it, but we were like, you know what? Maybe there is an actual story here. So some of the stuff that we're doing for this other Power Ranger thing, some of the elements from all that stuff are going to play a part into that. You'll see.
That's awesome. Oh, that is awesome. That's really awesome to hear.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of funny that you guys kind of started that, and now we're making that a full-fledged thing.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome.
So awesome.
Okay, I do have a question though. I know Jezer is the loudest person and has the funniest story backgrounds. Was there who was before before Jezza was like the loudest person? Who would you say is like the second loudest member of that hashtag?
He's not the loudest person. You know, the honest loudest person that we hang out with is Daryl. Daryl is actually loud. Like if you're ever around him, you'll hear his voice like 3 miles away. That's just the way Daryl is. But who's the one? Or was your question is who's the loudest, or who's the one that always like would get us in like who's the craziest stories?
I would say like okay, who's the person that always gets you guys into trouble? Let's just say that.
Gets us into trouble?
Yeah, I say my guess would definitely be Ernie.
My guess would be Jezzo.
Well, Jezzer definitely gets us into trouble. I think in terms of I don't know, maybe I'll be honest, maybe it's me because because I did.
He can admit it. He can be honest and admit it.
I pull the most pranks on everybody. Give me a beer though. I pull the most pranks on everybody. Here's one. I don't know if you guys don't know this actually.
Okay.
So it was one of our old directors or producers that used to be here. His name was Mike. This is our first year at college. I challenged him to because he was a shorter guy. He's like 5'1", 5'2", and he used to call himself Spider-Man, right? And I'm 6 foot tall, so he used to think he was like Spider-Man. And we were drinking, and this is after a party, and I said, "Hey, Mike, you can't." It was Petco Park was the big giant stadium, and I said, "Hey, Mike, you can't. There's no way you can climb over. You can't hop that fence, the really big fence. You're not Spider-Man." And he's like, "Yeah, I can do it." And I was like, "No, you can't." He's like, "Yeah, I can." I was like, "Prove it." And he did it.
Oh my God.
As soon as he did it, security guards came out and arrested him.
Oh no.
And then me and Josh spent the whole night outside of the holding cell or holding the place they were holding him. And I was drinking. So I was like, "Let my people go. Like I'm staying here." I was like making a huge thing. And then eventually they let him go. But like it might be me. It might be me.
I could definitely say that. I feel like out of my friends, like they're all in college and they're all like party animals. Like they go to parties every week. Me, I'm the quiet person. And I think I've always just been like that since I was 5 because like I'm different to most of my friends. Most of my friends are like outgoing. They're like, we're going places. You should come. And I'm like, you guys know I can't, right? Like, I've lived a sheltered life for like 14, 15 years. And it's not even that I picked that life. It's because that kind of happened to me. Like, everything that's happened from like age 5 to now, it's never been my fault. It's always stuff that's happened. And I don't know. I mean, I could be a party animal, but you would have to get me, well, once I turn 21, you would have to get me extremely drunk, and you have to force me into it, which means I will go karaokeing, but I get to pick whatever song to do, and you guys won't.
So I think that it's different with us here. It's a little easier, mainly because we're all so different that like it's almost like we don't care because it's
yeah, you guys are like a bunch of like rowdy people that you could just chill with and no one can give a crap.
For the most part,
so
but
true.
Realistically, I think that like that's why we work so well as a team, right? Because I think honestly, another guy that would get us into trouble too is probably Ro. Like low key, Ro kind of like does a lot of crazy things too. But like, and honestly, you guys wouldn't even expect it. Jessica. Like
Jessica, really?
There's so many fun stories about me and Jessica, or Jessica and our cat. There's so many fun stories about her too. And like, oh man, I can't even say some of them on air. But like, I'll just tell you this much. One time we did a Westworld episode, and she made me eat this popcorn with her, and I was like, oh my God. But it sounds crazy, but man, it was like that. It was like this marijuana popcorn, and I didn't.
Oh no.
So I was like, we were like, what happened to us? It was crazy. But like, there was that. And we did it kind of almost by accident. But like so many people here, like, and like another one, Maverick's not crazy, but she's definitely the most caring one out of everybody.
She definitely has that caring personality. I can see it in her.
She's the
Wait,
one.
Joe, I thought you said like forever going after her. You said you look at Maverick as like a goof.
I think Maverick's goofy. Like she's, But like her and I get along with her really, really well. But I do look at her she's like goofy to me. But then you got, I don't even know if you guys probably weren't even watching our show back then. We used to do these things called, do you guys remember were you guys ever see any of our drunk streams?
No, I never did.
We used to do these things on Twitch called the drunk streams. And what they were is that we would play drinking games, but also video games.
Oh no.
and Kelly, we just brought this up last night too. Kelly got wasted because
I could tell Kelly is the kind of person that would definitely get wasted and play a video game. She would definitely rage over the littlest of things. I could definitely tell she would.
And then I always tell her because I always like because it was me. It was a lot of us there. It was me, Brian, Myra, Sarah. There was a ton of us there. And I remember telling her, it's like, hey, the only time I've ever beat Kelly at a video game was when she was wasted and I beat her at Mortal Kombat. But she'll never live it down. However, listen, I have so much fun with those guys. Like, it sucks when we're all not together. Like tonight, there's going to be more people coming in or whatever. But like, it's sometimes like when you're here doing this by yourself, it kind of gets like lonely, and then you're like, man, I just wish Daryl or Ernie were here. But like, it's one of those things where like everybody gets along really, really well, and like this has been. I think the cast that we have currently right now has been my favorite cast we've ever had. Everybody here just clicks so well. And it's such a family thing too. Like I don't know if you guys know this, but Migdalia's Thanksgiving thing. Like we all went to that. And
I know that story because you guys got stuck there because of
only me and Judy got stuck outside. They got stuck inside. But
wow.
Yeah, that was a whole another issue. But like there was Jessica's birthday party, man. That thing got crazy. JD, we just had a birthday party for JD last week, and that was at a karaoke bar. You know what? I forgot to do. You know what? I completely forgot about this. Did you guys do the Rangers live chat challenge?
Yes. The lip sync challenge. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I waited it took me like 3 or 4 days to do mine. I can tell you though, DJs is like the best one for sure.
I think mine's really good too. Like, I was talking to Ernie on his Twitch stream like 2 weeks before I did mine, or like a week before I did mine, and I had brought up the idea of the song I was doing. And actually, that song I did is actually a song that I love, and it's a song that I know well. It's a song that I'm not going to do it for you guys on stream, but I can actually do that song without the music playing in the background, and I know every word to it. That's like how good I know that song.
I did one too, but I forgot to play it. Here, I'll see if I can. I don't even know if. Can you guys hear any of this?
No, I kind of can.
A little bit.
We did.
I don't know.
Okay, we did it. It was appropriate, but I ended up doing one. I don't know why I never posted it. We ended up doing A Whole New World.
I was contemplating between doing the song I did and Felt Like Me from a while, and I was like, I'll do the song I picked because it was easier.
I had a wide variety of lists of songs to choose from. I didn't like they weren't Disney. Those just like songs that you would just hear on the radio or songs that you haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. I did too.
You can barely hear it, but I do have.
Yeah, I can barely hear it.
Yeah, same.
But it was a lot of fun, man. I don't know why I never posted. I probably should eventually, right?
Yeah, you should. Yes. You should. You definitely should. I know Krishna will say like, "What took you so long?"
I just completely. We did it, and we did it in the studio. But then I remember putting it on Instagram, and they took it down because they wouldn't let me do music. Yeah. Yeah, but I had Maverick do the.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
But yeah, it's like a lot of fun. But see, that's what I'm saying is like right now these guys are so everyone's so good here and everyone's so like talented. But then obviously it's all like brothers and sisters, right? Like sometimes there's fighting and annoyances. It's hilarious. It's fun watching.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing with us fans because like us fans we're like a family now.
Yeah.
It's like it's because I'm connected for you guys now. we're one big giant family. And that's why it's like every time I post on like my Instagram, I'm like, I'm posting because these guys are my family. They're not just friends to me anymore. They're like my family.
It's the same thing. I mean, we have the same thing here. I mean, it's just so crazy because, like, man, I spend more time with these people than I do with anybody. You know, like, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of us are going to be doing, or like, the people that are staying in town, we're all having Christmas together. You know,
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
So
I mean,
cool.
really close. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like I said, this is like now the current 13 people we have here that are on at least on my show. They're amazing. Like I can't. This is the best cast we've ever had. Now Kelly has her own show now with Achievement Unlocked, and she has her own new cast with John and Jezer and Brian and whoever else joins that cast. And then there's Sam's gonna have his own cast with PCR, and that's like with Jimmy and Josh and whoever, Lori and Kevin. So it's going to be so many more faces you guys are going to get used to seeing. And I know that, you know, me and Derek have been talking, and if he moves out here, he's probably going to end up joining one of the 3 shows.
Yes.
That's awesome. I think that's actually kind of good ending off point. So do you guys have any like any
want
to give away to you know, any final thoughts you want to say before we, you know, we end off here?
Me or you?
I do.
All right, Kat, shoot.
I think, you know what, this was a good idea for us to do because, like, I feel like I got to know Joe more on, like, the perspective of the stuff that he likes, also the crazy stories, too, because I love that kind of stuff. But, like, I think this has made me and him, like, closer as friends because, like, we talk on Facebook, like, once in a blue moon. Like, anytime I just need to, like, cool down after writing, he's always my go-to guy to talk to. And, you know, like, he's always just been there, and I don't know. I mean, I definitely see myself, like, staying friends with him for, like, not even gonna say. You know what? I think I definitely see me and him being friends for life. I mean, everyone at Hashtag is, like, my, like, friend now, and I'm just so close with everyone, and I don't know. I just can't wait for 2018 to come. Like, so many new things happening. I can't wait.
That's why you guys got to come out and join in on the stories of Power MorphCon. But I agree with you, Kat. Like, it's all about creating moments, all about creating stories, and it's all about having fun and having fun with the people that you really care about. And I think that all of you guys and your support to me has been amazing. Like, you guys are, it's more than just, I don't like even using the term fans because you guys are friends, you know? So it's like,
yeah.
It's not necessarily the same. We don't look at it as fans here. We look at everybody as like an extended family of us. Like, we look at everybody that when you put on a Hashtag show shirt or whatever it may be, you're joining the team. It's not just the 13 of us you see every week, because there's 50. Kat knows, she's in our Slack. There's 55 of us in our Slack, and then there's 55 people that work on the show. You guys only see 13 of them. You know what I mean? Like, Kat's writing for us. We have all these people that are doing stuff behind the scenes, but it's just fun for us. And I think that's the cool thing is, like, if you can do this and like make this a career and love what you do and love the people you do it with, it doesn't feel like you're working at all.
Yeah, it just feels like you're having so much fun. It just feels like you're having fun with your family. And like those Slack messages I see, like I think it's like every time I see like you guys, like not even just posting on like social media, but like just like anything I see, I'm like, this is why I'm family with these guys, because these guys are the best people I know. Like, these guys are the people that I want to be around, and I think that's what Hashtag's all about, like creating a family and getting to know people and even meeting people that have the same interests as you. Like, when I first started like watching and even writing, I wasn't like the biggest Star Wars fan, as everybody knows. I'm like slowly like forcing myself into it. I still have to watch movies, but I'm forcing myself into it slowly. But with Rangers, I was already a fan, and that was like super easy for me, like getting into Ranger Wrap Up, and like, I don't know, I mean, it's all about just creating moments with people. And I think that's every day with what I do with Hashtag. I think I'm creating a moment for someone.
You are, and that's why you guys got to come to Power MorphCon 2018. So we call.
What I can say for me is that after like getting to know you guys for like, you know, I could say like for a full year now, because I pretty much I didn't really fully subscribe to you guys until like, you know, the summer of last year, 2016, and like the only people I would like be interested in watching was you and DJ, because I would always look forward to like Ranger Wrap Up and everything. And then as I started to broaden out my horizon with the other shows, like with Flashpoint, I got to meet know Sarah, Ernie, and Daniel, and then from then on Maverick, Myra, Brian, and all the other guys. And then with this year, when you guys brought in Daryl for Anime Super Chat, and when you said he was a voice actor, I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, you guys got an actual legit voice actor on your cast now. That's awesome. And then to actually be able to meet you guys in person, and I'm happy to say, like, I can't believe I'm friends with a voice actor right now, legit, like full paid person, like who does voices. And because it was amazing to actually meet you guys in New York Comic Con and just like share that moment with you guys, and being able to come to the live shows whenever I could, and just see you guys make fun of each other, crack up jokes and everything. It was amazing. I could also say, like, if I wasn't watching the Ranger Wrap Up, I felt like I wouldn't have been able to get into the Sentai, because I feel like after watching Dino Supercharge with you guys, it really got me into started watching the Super Sentai and everything. And with Daryl doing his thing with Pop Culture Renegades, that it actually had me to start watching Kamen Rider. So I really thank you guys for creating a foundation for like all of us people of like the geek culture, a place to come together for us to get to know each other, and just a place to just have fun. So just thank you so much for that, Joe.
Or if you guys ever want us to do more shows, all you got to do is let us know what shows you want to see. I'll find the people to do them, and because we love being here, we love making more content. So that's what we're all about. And yeah, I mean, right now we're concentrating on really getting the Twitch stream going to support Kelly and her stuff. So that's what we're all about, man. Family, and you guys are awesome.
Yeah. And with that, guys, thank you so much for all those who showed up in the chat room, for sticking around with us, talking about everything trending in geek pop culture. And I'll leave the link to that hashtag show in description below. Check them out, show them some love, show them all the support that they need, because what these guys do, I mean, sure, you have other YouTubers that do this, but this is a legit fan base channel that does give it all they got to give us everything trending in the culture world, whether it be video games, movies,
anime,
TV shows, comics, anime, the whole shebang. So show these guys your love and support. Thank you so much, Joe and Kat, for being here, and hopefully we can plan something like this again. Hopefully we can get some of the other guys in here.
Who do you want me to bring on your show next?
Oh my gosh.
I want Ro on next. I really want to see Ro on here.
Okay.
I would like to see. I want Daryl, Daniel, and Sarah. No, Jessica. I want Daryl, Daniel, and Jessica to be on here next. Whenever we can find a day to do this.
You want them together, or you want them individually?
Together. Just because I feel like having the three of you guys together in one place would be better instead of just having like individual. Because sometimes when you have multiple people do a live stream, it can get kind of fuzzy and it can kind of start lagging. So having the three of you guys in the same location would be perfect.
Okay. You said Daniel, Jessica, and who?
Daryl.
Okay. I'll remember that. Daniel, Jessica, and Daryl. I'll get them on.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out that hashtag show. But of course, until then, I am Vengeance. I am Darkness. I am Blackwing. Stay golden, guys.